No, he's not gonna actually build until springtime.
Makes sense.
Instead of spending the extra money on concrete, everybody shoveling off decks and whatnot. Rather have people working instead of shoveling, so.
There you go.
You're on.
We are on. Is it time? We've got
15 seconds.
15. All set, Naomi? Good evening, my name is Jack Dearborn. This is the December 5th, 2023 Zoning Board of Adjustments Agenda, public hearing. And we have one case tonight, and it is case number 23-2023. Joseph A. DeSalt, trustee of Joseph A. DeSalt Revocable Trust, owner, Town of Ware, applicant. Why does it say Town of Ware applicant? Naomi.
Because we're the applicant.
Oh, but you were working on his behalf.
We pay for the survey and the.
Oh, I got it, okay. 407 Riverdale Road, tax map 412-130, Village Zone Variance, Article 14, Section 14.2. The owner is donating 510 square feet of his existing non-conforming lot in the town of Ware to improve the intersection of River Road and Riverdale Road. Okay, the only case we have this evening. Let me briefly go over how we run the meeting. The way this works is we will always accept an I will always call for a motion to accept an application. The purpose of that is to ensure that it's reasonably set to go forwards and hear the case. If it is considered to be by the board, I should get a second, some discussion, and then we have at least 3 yeses to proceed. Given the 3 yeses to proceed, I will then ask for the applicant to come up and stand at the podium, announce their name, and at that point, I'll ask the board if they have any questions of the applicant before we start the application on the public hearing portion. After that, being done, I would ask the applicant to please basically read the 5 points of hardship in case of a variance, the bolded section of the question, and his or her answers. Once we go through all 5, should any time the board wish to ask a question, they may inject a question. Once we get done with all 5, at that point, from the public hearing, public input from the applicant, I will then ask the applicant to sit down. At that point, I'll ask for approving abutters, disapproving abutters, other boards, public at large. Once that's through, we go through everybody in the room who wish to comment. Then I ask the applicant if he or she wishes to rebut anything or anything they wish to add. And then after that's done, I'll ask for approving abutters, disapproving abutters, public at large, other boards. Everybody gets 2 shots at it. Once we're done with that application, all through that process, I will then shut down. I'll ask the board if they have any additional questions of the applicant. Being done, I will then shut down the public hearing. At that point, the board will, as the board, deliberate on the case. And we need at least 3 yeses for the instance of a variance for each one of the 5 points of hardship. If you don't get at least 3, it fails. So administrative appeals is basically 3 yeses will get you there. Administrative appeal, the other one would be a special exception, the same thing. Just one up and down vote by 3 people will get you. Okay, with that said, this board's meeting is going to seat the following members.
Mark Moretti, member.
Bobby Joe Commandon, member.
Michael Meyer, member.
Malcolm Wright, member.
Thank you. Okay. Let me quickly go through this. I did read that section. Can I have a motion to accept the application?
Move to accept application 2023.
I'll second.
Thank you. Looks like it's complete with signature, with the butters, property card, permission, delegate permission to speak. And there's also a yellow copy of the survey that was performed, showing the lot, showing what it would look like when it's adjusted, and then, yeah. Any further discussion on the application?
Nope.
At this point, all those in favor, Mark,
Aye.
Bobby,
Aye.
Mike,
Aye.
Malcolm,
Aye.
Jack, aye. So at this point, we're gonna continue with the, application. Who's
I'm
that?
Naomi Bolton. I'm here on behalf of the town of Ware. You have a permission slip from Mr. Duso to allow me to present this for him. Mr. Duso, it's probably been 2 or 3 years or longer, as time flies, had been actually talked to Benji when he was the DPW director to kind of give it's a little triangle on the corner. It goes from utility pole to utility pole and give up that 510 square feet to make a better turning radius from River Road onto Riverdale.
Does everybody know where this is? Are you
Yeah.
here for the case tonight?
You guys need to do that?
Dave, are you here?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know what we're doing?
yeah, I know basically what's going on.
If you wanna look, actually, I'll give you this.
All set? Dave, it's utility pole, utility pole. This is public service pole.
There's a light pole and it's going to the other,
Yeah,
that's
this
gonna
is-
eliminate that big spruce. I'd like to see 4-way stalks on there, to be honest with you. Well, I don't want that.
Okay, so,
It's not like Goffstown circles.
no, we're not making a roundabout. Basically, I'm here to ask for the applicant, to waive, to permit lot number 412-130 to be made more non-conforming by taking 510 square feet and donating it to the town to better improve the intersection at the River Road, Riverdale. This also benefits the applicant because he won't be suffering any property damage, because right now we kinda use the corner of it. But this would now be ours. As David said, the little bush will be gone. So it's gonna run utility pole to utility. So right now he has 0.4, and he's going down to 0.395 as far as acreage. So, point number 1, the variance will not be contrary to public interest because the variance will not alter the essential character of the neighborhood. It'll just be providing the town the ability to make a better and safer intersection. Also the applicant won't have us driving over, or trucks driving over his property. It will also allow the trucks to make a better turning radius without crossing over to oncoming traffic. 2, please describe how the spirit of the ordinance is observed. By reducing the existing lot by 510 square feet to increase the safety of the intersection for all motorists will enhance the safety and welfare for the traveling motorists as well as the owner. Using that intersection, vehicles will not have to cross over one lane to make the turn. 3, please describe how substantial justice will be done. Substantial justice will be done to allow the town, this additional 510 square feet of intersection will make it safer and better for all the travel the public way. Again, I can repeat the same thing, the owner, we won't be trespassing and using his property. The benefits for the safety of all will outweigh the harm to the general public if not allowed to improve the intersection. 4, please describe how the value of surrounding properties are not diminished. The property values will not be diminished as there will be no change other than it will allow the town to own the property to be able to make a safer intersection. It currently is being used at times when traffic does make the turns. It will just make all traffic motions be on the town property versus private property. 5, literal enforcement of the provisions of the ordinance would result in an unnecessary hardship. The location of the intersection is in the village where properties are located very close to one another. Hundreds of years ago, there was sufficient, but as the community has grown and more vehicles, including tractor trailers, are using the road, the small intersection needs improvement to be safe for all. Goffstown has closed their end of Parker Station Road to not allow through trucking, forcing all the trucks that use River Road to make a sharp right-hand turn to head out to 114 to the Riverdale Road direction. At times, truck have used part of the oncoming lane to make the turn. This would allow the town to improve the intersection for all motorists, as well as, again, we'll be staying on our own property for that. Owing to the special conditions identified above, please indicate how no fair and substantial relationship exists between the general public purpose of the ordinance and the specific application of that provision to the property. Special conditions of the property is that currently it is a pre-existing non-conforming lot regarding the size. Zoning, when created, made the minimum lot size 1.93, and this lot was created in 1830, 150 years prior to the town having zoning. Over time, traffic has increased in volume and kinds of traffic, meaning trucks, allowing 510 additional square feet to be donated to the town to make a safer intersection far outweighs the specific provision of lot size. Owing to the special conditions identified above, please indicate how the proposed use is a reasonable one. The proposed use of the 510 square feet to improve the intersection is a reasonable one. Due to the lot size and the location makes this request for safety to the public a reasonable one. The strict adherence of the zoning ordinance in this application poses a danger to anyone that uses the intersection, especially when the neighboring abutting town closed off the through truck traffic, forcing everyone to make a hard right. This would allow the town to redesign the road, keep all the traffic on our own side of the road, and we won't be trespassing on the neighbor. B, please describe the special conditions of the property that distinguish it from other properties in the area. The special conditions of the property is that it's close to the intersection and created over 150 years ago when traffic was far different than it is today, in the number of vehicles using the road as well as the types of vehicles, larger trucks. Allowing the owner to donate 510 square feet to the town will make it safe for all motorists is a huge benefit. Also, we won't be trespassing on his property anymore. Owing to the special conditions identified above, please indicate how the property cannot be reasonably used in strict conformance of the ordinance, and a variance is therefore necessary to enable a reasonable use of it. Keeping in strict conformance of the ordinance by not allowing the owner to donate 510 square feet of the corner of his property to the town to improve safety would be a safety issue for the town and anyone who uses the roadway. A variance is needed to make the current pre-existing non-conforming lot more non-conforming in order to improve the safety for all. Denying this variance would be denying the public of the ability to have a safe intersection, and a reasonable use is a reasonable use for the 510 square feet. So we're asking for approval of the 510 square feet so we can redesign the intersection to make it safe for motoring traffic as well as stay off of the owner's property.
Any questions of the board?
No.
If not, approving as butters wish to speak? Dave, you gonna be okay?
David Nelson of 10 River Road. I live right across the street from it. I think it's a fantastic idea. I'm all for it. It's gonna eliminate a complete row of bushes and a big tree that blocks the intersection. The only thing that I would be leery of is if looking forwards, they might be able to put a four-way stop over there, because once they get that improved, it's gonna make the cars even go a little bit faster, because they know there's no trucks gonna be on that side of the road. That's the only thing that I wanna just kinda stay in hand with all the meetings that are coming up and be able to put my 2 cents in. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Any other approving of butters?
I'm Emily Bainton. I live at 11 River Road with Jeff Howard. I think this is a fantastic idea. I am just a little concerned about the truck noise that is happening there, but this sounds like it might dampen that a little bit, and I'm all for making the corner safer.
Thank you. Distributing of butters, being none. Public at large, being none. Other boards, being none. Naomi, you all set? Dave, you all set?
Yep.
Emily, set? Distributing of butters, distributing of butters. Public at large, being none. At this point at 7:44, I'm gonna close down the public meeting. We go into deliberation. Okay. Motion to accept Article, prong one.
Move to accept prong one.
I'll second.
Have a second, and the spirit of the ordinance is orderly growth. Unfortunately, this was done in the 1830s, a lot of years ago. This does make the lot more non-compliant, but I think the benefit to the town and being in the spirit of the ordinance is orderly growth and use of roads and properties. So I would say this is, I speak in favor of this. This makes more sense to eliminate this, not only a hardship for traffic, but also or mitigate the issue of hazards, vehicular hazards. Okay,
Agreed.
anybody else? All those in favor? Mark?
Aye.
Bobby?
Aye.
Jack, aye.
Aye.
Malcolm?
Aye.
5-0. Okay, 2,
To accept number 2.
thank you.
Second.
Again, the spirit of the ordinance, orderly growth and safety. I think this enhances the safety by allowing this to be 510 smaller lot, but it has a significant benefit for the town in general for traffic.
Yeah, it seems that that piece of property, just the shape of it isn't very useful anyway, so.
It sounds like it gets driven over anyway.
Yeah.
Well, the town would never lay out a road on a 45 degree.
Right, right.
Shallower than that.
I actually didn't know that, Goffstown blocked the
Yeah.
trucks.
Anyone else?
No.
Mark?
Aye.
Bobby?
Aye.
Jack, aye. Mike?
Aye.
Malcolm?
Aye.
Motion for,
Move to accept prong 3.
yep.
Second.
Substantial justice will be done for the town in this regard. Simple as that. To
Absolutely.
make it a safe, and the citizenry, safer access to River Road from, to Riverdale Road from Riverdale, River Road, heading, I guess it'll be on a right-hand turn.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yep.
Mark?
Aye.
Bobby?
Aye.
Jack? Aye. Mike?
Aye.
Malcolm?
Aye.
0. 4?
Move to accept prong 4.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. I don't see this affecting anybody's property in the general area.
No, if anything, it makes it more welcoming.
Safer
Yeah.
intersection. Yep.
Safer intersection. Anybody else? Mark?
Aye.
Bobby?
Aye.
Jack, aye. Mike?
Aye.
Malcolm?
Aye.
And 5 is in entirety.
Move to accept 5 in its entirety.
Second.
Thank you. This gets into a bunch of things. Little enforcement of the provision would allow not being allowed to reduce the lot size on this lot would allow a hazardous condition to exist. I just think it makes sense to allow this relaxation of 510 feet on that particular lot.
I'd also like to note that it's awful nice of the owner to,
Absolutely.
Here, here. And also, special conditions, this being a very small lot, the road being in a less than 45 degree angle where it meets Riverdale, is an issue in its own right. And that's pretty much it. Anybody else?
Just say the ordinance is intended for safety, population density, all those things. If we were to enforce this, it would limit the town's ability to make a safe intersection. It would harm the public generally by making it an unsafe intersection. And like I said, the property value doesn't change at all. It's,
Agreed.
Thank you. Mark?
Aye.
Bobby?
Aye.
Jack? Aye. Mike?
aye.
No.
Aye.
Thank, look at the salt. Now we get on the minutes.
It wasn't here, so.
On 111, sentence 111. I thought I said, under advice of counsel. You could fit that into some ways. Civil matter is considered to be a civil matter.
Is it safe to put that per advice from town council, per advice from town
Yes.
council, these requests are
Yes, thank
made
you.
through deeds on civil?
I think, 238, a sentence got cut off. Has to assume they're correct, because there's not a scope of work, and at this point, he cannot, and then it just goes into, if I recall correctly, it was just that can't argue with what the building inspector had provided because the applicant hadn't provided any contrary evidence, something to that nature.
You want to just take off he cannot?
That would probably be okay. I think the point got across in the sentence before that.
One thing on 230, or 240? It's missing a, right, said at this point, the ZBA has not been presented. We didn't present any of it.
And I think on 195, Naomi, to be more correct, I think Chairman Dearborn asked the applicant if there's anything in writing. And the applicant responded, nothing in writing from Chip on the subject. And you may want to note, Chip tasked building inspector at least one place.
Yeah, I don't see anything.
Supposed to accept?
Move to accept the November 7th, 2023 ZBA minutes as amended.
Second?
Thank you. Discussion? Being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Aye. Oh, sorry.
5-0.
5-0.
There you go.
With that, motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Thank you.
Second.
Discussion being none, all in favor?
Aye.
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 5-0.